Hey there, everyone. I'm meteorologist Cassie Knoll, and this is your 10 Weather Impact Recap for the week. Let's start with a look at the top weather stories from around the country. In Mississippi, some counties are under a state of emergency due to rising levels of the Mississippi River. Parts of the Mid-South received over a foot of rain earlier this month, and now all of that water is moving downstream. Mississippi Emergency Management Agency Director Stephen McCraney says that this is going to be a long-term event for the Magnolia State, and the flooding won't just affect the large bodies of water.
It's almost like a wave that comes down from the top of Mississippi, and that wave gets higher and higher as it gets to Greenville, to Vicksburg, and down to Natchez. So we're definitely looking at those outlying areas.
In California, tens of thousands of festival goers converged for the first weekend of Coachella. The 2025 Coachella Valley Music and Arts Festival kicked off this past weekend with performances by Lady Gaga, Weezer, and Green Day, along with dozens of lesser-known acts. Up to 40,000 campers were expected on the grounds as temperatures soared into the 90s and triple digits. Despite the heat and long lines in traffic, fans say Coachella is a state of mind, and the trouble is worth it.
Just imagine like being free, living, enjoying music all day. It can get hot, it can get dusty, so there's obviously downsides, but for the most part, if you're in good spirits, it's like a whole nother level.
Speaking of hot and dusty, Phoenix, Arizona had their first 100-degree day of the year on Thursday, April 10th, tying the record high for the date. Their average first triple-digit day is May 2nd, so this year is about 3 weeks ahead of schedule. The earliest 100-degree reading on record was March 26th in 1988, so we didn't touch that record. After tying the record high on Thursday, the Valley of the Sun smashed the record for Friday, topping out at 103 degrees at Sky Harbor Airport. Phoenix then tied another record high of 99 on Saturday before cooler air arrived on Sunday. The average high this time of year is 85 degrees. That warmth also spread northward into Colorado, where Denver set a new record high of 86 on Saturday the 12th. Just 36 hours later, this was the scene in the Mile High City Monday morning. The ground was warm, so the snow didn't last long, but the large temperature swings and changing conditions like that are common in the Front Range of the Rockies, especially this time of year. And speaking of wild weather, the Mount Washington Observatory in New Hampshire experiences some of the most extreme weather conditions on the planet. A few days ago, or I should say a few days of freezing rain and a thick glaze of ice created the perfect setting for weather observer Alex Branton to do some skating up at the observatory. April 12th also marked the anniversary of the Great Storm of April 1934, when a wind gust of 231 miles per hour was measured at the summit of Mount Washington. As federal budget cuts continue, funding to a national program for projects designed to help communities prepare for natural disasters is in jeopardy. Drew Mickelson explains how this could affect people who live in the Pacific Northwest.
Folks who live here in Grays Harbor County are no strangers to natural disasters, whether it's extreme weather or tsunami risks. Plans to build a tsunami escape tower here in Westport and protective levees in Hoquiam and Aberdeen could be in jeopardy because FEMA considers those projects wasteful.
Communities are facing the effects of climate change more than ever.
Getting the grants was viewed as a game changer for Grays Harbor County just a couple of years ago. In 2022, the cities of Hoquiam and Aberdeen got more than $80 million to build 11 miles of levees to prevent annual flooding. And the next year, Westport got almost $14 million for a tsunami evacuation tower, all through FEMA's Building Resilient Infrastructure and Communities program, known as BRIC.
It was going to be right in here, this area here.
Last week, the county's emergency management office learned all the money was on the chopping block.
This is intended to save lives and support a community.
Westport's mayor says the city has worked for nearly a decade on the tower proposal that would be scrapped without FEMA's help.
It would be very sad. It would be sad, and I would continue to worry about the safety of the community.
A FEMA spokesperson said, quote, BRIC was yet another example of a wasteful and ineffective FEMA program. It was more concerned with climate change than helping Americans.
We've faced a lot of challenges over the years, things like the spotted owl, losing a lot of mills and industry. But to lose this grant funding, if we do, it'll be the biggest gut punch ever.
Hoquiam City Administrator says the levees won't be built without the grants. Those who have to respond to disasters here wish they had more help preventing them.
This is the way we move forward, and to have that taken out is completely devastating.
Grays Harbor County officials are hopeful FEMA will reverse its decision. The mayor here in Westport is encouraging residents to contact their congressional representatives, letting them know these projects will protect livelihoods and potentially lives. In Westport, Drew Mickelson.
Back here in East Tennessee, the curtain closed on the Newport Theater Guild's Wizard of Oz, but the impact of their performance is still being felt beyond the stage. Sarah Oppman shares a comeback story from people facing a long line of recovery in East Tennessee from a historic storm.
Dorothy said it best.
There's no place like home.
And in Newport, it's a sentiment that still remains true 6 months after Hurricane Helene.
And the love and support of Newport and Cott County has been a blessing. And despite the tragedy that it was, I've seen so many signs of hope and of God's love throughout it all.
After months of delays due to the storm, the Newport Theater Guild's Wizard of Oz sold out several shows and raised nearly $28,000, all through pay-what-you-can donations.
This was the biggest crowd that's ever attended one of our shows. I can't put into words how surprised we were in a good way.
One night alone brought in $4,000, money that went straight to the show's choreographer, Susan McMahon, to rebuild her dance studio.
We wanted to help her. She's such a huge help to us with doing all of our choreography that we wanted to give back to her as much as possible.
The Newport Dance and Cheer Academy is still in the recovery process 6 months after Helene. For McMahon,
You're doing a great job though, girls. I'm proud of you.
This donation means the world.
Overwhelmed and blessed and just so humbled and grateful is the best way to say it.
And for her students,
they're excited. They, just like in The Wizard of Oz, it says there's no place like home. They're glad to be home.
The National Park Service has reopened portions of Cataloochee Valley on the North Carolina side of Great Smoky Mountains National Park. The area has been closed since September of 2024 after the remnants of Hurricane Helene significantly damaged trails and roads in the park. Crews have re-graveled roads and parking areas, but hikers hitting the trails are being told to use extreme caution. There are still downed trees and damaged areas, including stream crossings, since most of the footlogs were lost and have not been replaced. The campgrounds and horse camp in Cataloochee did not sustain major damage, but will remain closed. The park said they would open them if operational capacity allows. Strong storms moved through East Tennessee and southeast Kentucky last Thursday, April 10th, and some parts of our area had some very large hail. In West Knox County, some viewers reported hailstones the size of golf balls and hen eggs. Thankfully, no damage was reported, but hail that size can actually cause a lot of trouble. And you can see the different hail sizes here, so we got all the way up to hen egg size right there. And along with those strong storms came these beautiful mammatus clouds. Now, there's still some, I guess, mystery behind exactly what causes these to form, but they tend to form whenever you have very strong storms in the area. Our assumption is that it's due to the turbulence, the lots of ups and downs that you get. This was up in the La Follette area, or Jacksboro, I should say, in Campbell County. And we got lots of beautiful pictures of these mammatus clouds after those strong storms moved through last Thursday. And let's now get a check of your 7-day forecast. Thankfully, no strong storms coming in the next couple of days. Our big story is going to be the warm-up that you're going to be seeing. By the time we get into Friday and the weekend, we're talking about highs back into the lower 80s. It's going to be a toasty Easter this year across the southeast, with highs expected to reach the low 80s, about 10 to 15 degrees above average. There could be some storms coming back into our area for Sunday into Monday, so make sure you check back for updates to the forecast. Thank you so much for watching. And remember, you can always get the very latest with that forecast on the 10 News app. It's free to download in the App Store.